London is famous for its openness to foreign investment, but is it good news that so many of the city's TV companies are being bought by foreigners? This month, Viacom, the US network, paid £450 million to acquire Channel 5. Liberty Global and Discovery Communications, two American-run companies, have paid £550 million to acquire All3Media, the maker of British shows such as Midsummer Murders, and a handful of sparky new production companies, many of them based around London's West End, are also finding themselves with new owners. Some voices are raising the alarm. In a speech last month, David Abraham, the chief executive of Channel 4, said that there was a gold rush for British television, and that gold rush meant that the whole system could become a victim of its own success.
In just a few months, we've seen a spate of deals that will reshape our industry and alter where decisions get made and by whom. Diversity of ownership on both the supply and the buying side of our industry is reducing rapidly. Consolidation is driving ever bigger bets. Our free-to-air channels have become the must-have accessories, the tiny dogs of 2014 amongst US media companies eager to stay ahead of each other. The system now risks becoming a victim of its own success. While UK production is an undoubted commercial success story, I wonder if it will continue to be a creative one.
Abraham's point was not that foreign investment was bad, but his point was that those global companies would use their scale to reduce costs. They would use programs that were made in the US and put them in front of UK viewers. That would mean less investment in UK programming made by London production companies.
UK viewers love watching British content. That's where the most viewing goes. It's also the public service broadcasters that produce the vast majority of the British content.
I think the great thing about the UK is we've got a number of channels who are prepared to take risks. So if you look, we do a lot of work for the BBC, and if you look at something, I don't know, we made a series recently for the BBC called Sexy Beasts. Now, on paper, that's a completely mad idea. It involves people getting dressed up in prosthetic masks and dating each other, and then deciding who they like by what they hear and personality rather than what they see. Now, that actually hit a really strong chord with lots of viewers, but I'm not sure that a totally commercial channel would have taken the risk to do that because it's so far out there.
But others are taking such warnings with a pinch of salt. They note that London's TV sector has boomed over the past 15 years as companies have been able to hold on to the rights to sell their programmes internationally.
You know, the idea that local is akin to quality and that you know, US produced is akin to rubbish, you know, is pretty questionable. You know, the US has produced, you know, many of the best drama series that people are, you know, very, very keen to watch over here. You know, I don't think it follows that sort of globalization and consolidation within the industry kind of leads to a, you know, sort of a race to the bottom and the lowest common denominator. And for many of these companies, they might be under US ownership ultimately, but life changes for them very little on a day-to-day basis. You know, the people that are the beating heart of these companies, they're creative people, and you know, they live in London, they go to their office in London in many cases, and they do what they do. And whether ultimately, you know, the company that owns them happens to be quoted, you know, on a US stock market or in private equity hands in the UK, frankly, it's neither here nor there to them.
So who are the real losers from the arrival of the Americans? Quite possibly Channel 4 and the BBC, the public sector broadcasters who are competing for the best creative ideas, but who lack the financial firepower of their rivals. In a competitive global market, they find themselves increasingly challenged. Henry Mance, Financial Times, London.